come the first responders out of the rafters and getting ready for the ceremonial puck drop at center ice on our Protect and Serve night. These men and women do so much terrific work in our community to keep us safe and to help us do the jobs that we love to do. And tonight, it's entertain you by playing what is certainly a big Central Division matchup. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Outback Steakhouse broadcast booth high above the ice at Westbanco Arena. I'm DJ Massell, set to bring you all the action as the Nailers take on the Fort Wayne Komets. The Nailers in the white uniforms with the black numbers and letters on the backs and sleeves. They go from left to right. The Komets in the orange uniforms with the white numbers and letters on the backs, orange numbers on black sleeves. They go from right to left. Flip-flop those directions if you're watching along tonight on WTRF, My Ohio Valley. Referee for tonight's game with our Ogilvy opening face-off is Andrew Brugman. His linesmen are Randy Dangler and Denny Urban. Chief Schwartfager from the Wheeling Police Department and Chief Helms from the Wheeling Fire Department out there for the ceremonial face-off between Nick Saraceno of the Nailers and A.J. Jenks, who wears the C for Fort Wayne. They'll back the police cruiser off into the Zamboni Tunnel, roll up the carpets, and we will be ready for hockey on this Saturday night. The Nailers at 22-20-5, good for 49 points. Fifth place in the Central Division, looking up at the Komets, who are 23-19-6-2. That's good for 54 points in fourth. Indy is in third at 55. The Fuel visiting Cincinnati tonight, where the Nailers were last night. And, of course, you also have to keep a look on Kalamazoo in the rearview mirror as they're starting to get closer than they may appear in the mirror. 45 points in sixth as they play host to the Brampton Beast this evening. Jordan Rui won his last start on February 4th, 28 saves against the Kansas City Mavericks. He gets the nod for head coach Mike Bavis. Both these goaltenders are going to have to play well down the stretch with a lot of games. Starting on Wednesday, it'll be 24 games in a span of 47 days, so certainly a lot of work for the netminders. Cole Kehler, he's had a really interesting last 6 games, as his most recent 3 has had all saves of 20 or less, and his 3 before that, all 40 or more. So it's like the defense in front of him is either feast or famine. Either they're going to give up a pile or they're going to give up nothing. Season series is 5-1 Fort Wayne. We have this one to end the Wheeling part of it, and then we have March 3rd to end the Fort Wayne part of it. That'll be the first of 3 and 3 in 3 different cities, as the Nailers will visit Fort Wayne, Indy, and Kalamazoo. Graham Knott has been on fire lately. He is on a 5-game point streak. He will take the opening face-off for the Nailers as they get everything situated down the Wheeling slot. And he will likely be opposed by A.J. Jenks, who is very good at his craft in the face-off circle. In fact, they both are, so we might have some really good tussles, some patient players trying to outsmart each other at the dot, and right away we see it as they'll reset and go down one more time. And this game is now underway. One mighty tangle. Brugman's like, get me out of this mess. Titcomb, right side of his own end for Wheeling, slides it over to Kim in his own slot. Hirano returned to the lineup with a goal last night, pushed ahead and dumped in by Knott. Kehler stopping behind the net, now goes by Kehler, not Keeler, as we called him the first 5 times we saw them this year. Gabriel Verpass from center, fakes the slap shot, twirls him with a wrist shot, and a left pad save made by Ruby. Hirano tries to lift Rimshaw's stick, a point shot by Gallipo, tipped aside, near side boards, they roll up towards the point. Krastenberg's lost his stick on the play. Gallipo recovers back in his own end, spears over on the right side, now twirls it up the far side boards for Verpass. An acquisition in season for Fort Wayne. Verpass, a 2018 Kelly Cup champion. In fact, scored the Kelly Cup winning goal that year for Colorado as they beat Florida in Game 7 down in Estero. Far side step up. Gottlieb backhands it behind the net. Good stick placement by Trapp to wedge it free. Smith, right side, darts it ahead. Oh, Butcher was behind Redicop, but he couldn't quite break away and get the first opportunity for the Nailers. That would have been a glorious chance just over a minute in, and it would have gotten its crowd on its feet right away. Brown has it topple off of Gottlieb as intended for Smith. Komets nearly have it poke checked away, and then it's started in by Petrozelli off the end boards. Berg tussling with trap, and Ruby's able to cover up in his crease with 1:26 gone by in the first period. In a scoreless game, Alec Butcher, one of the goal scorers for the Nailers last night. Some big names getting on the sheet. Nick Saracino, Yushi Hirano, Butcher, Renars Krastenbergs, and Cam Brown. Those are players that are going to need to have some big stretches in February, March, April to hopefully put this team into postseason contention. Far side, Gallipo drapes down the wall, tries a backhand. That's snuffed out by Ryan Scarfo. In the far side corner, Lazarchik out for a shot by McKenzie, twirled wide to the left. At the left point, kept alive by Petschenig, who got pelted into the wheeling bench on the near side on an excellent check. Saracino backhand up the wall. Lazarchik the steal down to Szydlowski. Looking up to the point. A wrister. Stick save Ruby. Rebound. Makes its way to the far corner. Lazarchik has Minerva all over him. And Minerva got the arms in just enough to haul the Fort Wayne player down to the ice. And the Nailers will take the first penalty of the game. That is something, and Mike Bavis touched on it in the pregame show. You do not want to play with this kind of fire, as Fort Wayne, with the second best power play in the ECHL, they're number one on the road. They have 30 road power play goals, which is an astronomical number, 7 higher than the next closest team on enemy ice. So it's Minerva for a hold at 2 minutes. As the Nailers go to a Green Acres Power Sports penalty kill. The Nailers turn to Green Acres when they need extra power. Berg, top of the left circle, wrist shot, and Ruby gets the right shoulder on it to send it toppling up and out of play. As that took just 7 seconds. The Nailers penalty kill ranking 22nd in the ECHL. 2 for 3 last night against the Cyclones, who, despite their record, not a great power play in Cincinnati this year. Nailers will see the Cyclones again next Friday there. And then the following Saturday, the 29th, here on Pittsburgh Penguins night. Gottlieb gives it right circle. Szydlowski bangs it towards the slot. Poked on goal by Bowdens. Keeping it out with the right leg pad is Ruby. Szydlowski leads the ECHL with 23 power play points, so you look out for him. Berg chisels it far side. Missed as goes back into the Fort Wayne zone. 16 of those are assists, which is also first in the ECHL. As the Komets started ahead, Berg on the near side, looking in. It's offside against the Komets. So that's who's setting up a lot of the power play goals. If you're looking for who scores them, well, you have A.J. Jenks tied for the league lead with 9 power play goals for the Komets. As the faceoff comes up in front of the Wheeling bench. Scarfo and McKenzie to take the draw. And boy, you take Jenks and Szydlowski out there, but then you put one of the top rookie performers in the league in Alan Lazarchik, who's torched Wheeling for 8 points this season. Lazarchik takes the puck, screams in left side, goes down the wall, banks it back to the left point for Gallipo. Into the left circle, Lazarchik cranks it far side off the wall. Rim shot at the center point for Gallipo. Gives it right side circle, rim shot. Looking for a Petrozelli tip, doesn't connect. Lazarchik on the left wing half wall. Slides it out to the point for Gallipo. Long wrist shot, and right on the top left nail on Jordan Ruby's jersey. He's able to capture it and not allow a rebound to pop free. 47 seconds left on the kill. We've played 3:13 in our first period, a scoreless game. Draw coming up to Ruby's right. You usually expect a lot of goals when these teams clash. 13 of the last 15, the winning team has scored 5 or more. The lone exception of that this year was 3-0 Komets on Thanksgiving at the Coliseum. Jenks will get excused from the draw against Butcher. Berg will take it instead. Big crowd in downtown Wheeling tonight. Great to see. Gottlieb at the left point, goes down the wall for Berg. Back up, Gottlieb, one-timer off back glass. Comes around near side boards. Butcher trying to slam it away from Berg. Wound up, had it blocked. Kim behind the net for Titcomb. Finds the lane and lasers it up over top of the Comet D's. All the way down to Kehler behind the net. Has Smith giving him the footsteps as the Komets escape it. Berg, near side feed in for Gottlieb. Left circle looking to the slot. Smith got the backhand on it. Not enough to get out of the zone. Bowdens to Szydlowski. Top of the right circle, dragging it around. Right side wrist shot. Around the wall it rolls. Near side Bowdens. Top of the circle. Out for Gottlieb at the point. Szydlowski, right circle, returns it. Gottlieb, slap pass, side of the net. Jenks jams away. Kept out by Ruby and cleared down by Kim as Minerva exits the penalty box. The Komets now with the first 5 shots of the hockey game. Jordan Ruby having to stand tall early for Wheeling. Near side dump in, cross corner by Terrell. Trap, first one back there for the Nailers. Goes behind his net. Steers it up left side. Krastenberg's had it deflect away. In the slot, Bayless fires up over top of the net. Hirano sends Bayless crashing into the end boards. Bayless was losing his footing on the way. Yush collects it. Far side, Krastenberg's returns it. Hirano lost the handle in the left circle with the pressure coming from Verpass. Here comes Bayless, and it's offside as Rimshaw tried to hold the line, but unable to do so. With 4 minutes and 39 seconds gone in period number 1 of a scoreless game. Awesome pregame action with the first responders. The Wheeling SWAT team was practicing that here on Wednesday, so we got a chance to watch that during practice. Not sure how easy it was for the guys to stay focused as they had people dropping from the ceiling and just kind of oohing and eyeing. It's really fun watching people who are terrific at their craft. McKenzie in, right circle wrist shot, blocked by Trapp, and now the first responders get to watch professional hockey players do their craft tonight at Westbanco Arena. Florent shakes it out to center. McKenzie, left side, whirls it in off the far side boards. Lazarchik giving chase in the far side corner. Has Trapp defending on him, spiked off the far boards. McKenzie along the right wing wall tries to jam it towards the net. That's blocked out of play by Captain Nick Saracino as we get the stoppage with 5:19 gone in our first period. And a scoreless game between the Nailers and the Komets. Fort Wayne wearing its alternate orange jerseys tonight. Typically we see them in their blacks that has the full Komets word as part of the logo. This just has the wheel or the Komet with the K in the center of it. Face-off coming to Ruby's left. Gottlieb shakes it down the wall to the far side corner. Minerva tying up with Bowdens. It pops free for Brown. Taken down by Jenks, far side corner. Minerva stapled into by Rimshaw. Apt carries it away. Right side feed. Butcher looking to backhand it through. Verpass with the offensive pressure, forcing Butcher back into his own end. Wound across left side. Smith tried to spit it ahead for Brown. Broken up by the Komets. Bowdens in. Left circle shot. Save Ruby. Rebound pop free for a moment as the Komets crash in looking for loose change. But Jordan is able to fall down on top of it and get the stoppage. Is crashing in were Rimshaw and Jenks with 5:50 gone in our first period in a scoreless match. Draw will come to Jordan Ruby's right. 5-6-3 for Jordan this season. Giving Alex Dorio a night off after Alex picked up his 12th win of his rookie campaign last night. Dorio going to 4-1 against Cincinnati this season. And I talked to Alex on the bus after the game last night. I said, what is it about them? And he says they just constantly are on you, constantly moving it. You feel like you're always active and in it. And I've heard goalies say that. They would rather face a 40-shot performance than be snoozing with 20. Petrozelli looking to the slot. Titcomb carried it out of harm's way to Knott on the right side, crisscrossing into the zone. Forced to the wall by Redekop. Far side, Bayless walking in. Drop pass, right circle. Wrister by Bayless as Titcomb just throttled down Bayless on the far side. Bayless very slow to get to his feet. He does, and he ooches and ouches his way back to the Fort Wayne bench. Michael Kim, the rookie defenseman, setting up shop behind the goal, being watched by Sean Szydlowski as Nick Saraceno buzzes around and says hello. Scarfo can't get through McKenzie. Szydlowski turns high on the right side, puts it into the far side corner. Scarfo rides Lazarchik to the boards. Nailers have had 2 nice big hits early on, and that's good to see. Obviously, you want to play smart against a team with a dynamic power play, but Fort Wayne, they kind of remind me of an old school, old-time hockey kind of team. They score a ton, they give up a ton, and they'll just bust your chops all day long, too. They're a fun one to watch. I bet you has a good time at the Coliseum. McKenzie into the slot, wrist shot, score. Brett McKenzie into the slot, rips one high glove side, and Fort Wayne takes a 1-0 lead at the 7:14 mark of the first. Nailers lost the handle of it in center, and the Komets had the open slot to work with as McKenzie picks up goal number 19 on the season. 1-0 for Fort Wayne. Leads tend not to be safe in this series, though, as we've seen both teams blow a 3 this year in head-to-head battles.
His 19th goal of the season scored by number 14, Brett McKenzie, assisted by number 27, Sean Szydlowski, and number 65, Will Petschenig.
There's the announcement on the goal. Dave Flatley working the triple header for himself today as they had the West Virginia Hockey League tournament in earlier today. It'll also be here tomorrow. We'll see some of those players during intermission. Both intermissions tonight will be extended, going 20 minutes instead of the normal 18. Draw coming to Ruby's right. The Komets have the first 7 shots in the game in the first 7 minutes and 23 seconds. Reaching out to haul in at the left point is Gottlieb. Into the circle, Jenks flutters a backhander towards the net. Siebenaler up the far side. Smith looking middle. Jenks backs it up for Gallipo as he curls behind his goal. Near side, Bowden squashed into by Trapp as they jam forward along the wall. Jenks applying some checks to Smith. Long wrister by Butcher, and reaching up with the glove is Kehler to snag it. 7:48 gone in the first. 1-0 Komets on the Nailers Broadcast Network. We've played 7:48 in our first period. Komets with a 1-0 lead. Unfortunate situation there. Brad Drobot getting a dash, a minus. Doesn't see a ton of ice time, mainly due to the lack of tough guys around the league, but unfortunately gets out there, and the Komets find the back of the net on that shift. Arano spills a guy in front of the Fort Wayne bench. Terrell twirling around in center, in for Petruzzelli. Left side along the wall, spins free of Minerva. Out to the point, a blast by Verpass, and that one ricochets wide. Apt behind the goal, cuts it for Minerva. Far side, Banka head for Knott. Feeds it near side, Herano gets around Verpass. Unselfish bouncing play as Krastenbergs try to tee up Knott in the slot. Just a little bit too much passing and not enough attacking forward on that sequence for Wheeling. But a very strong performance by that line that scored a couple of goals last night. Krastenberg's fans gets it back to Apt, who sits down in his slot. Feeds over to Kim, left side. Chugs it through. Scarfo getting in left side shot. Stick save made by Kehler. Florent along the end boards, giving off for Saraceno. Coming out of the right corner. Spills it along the wall. Scarfo chasing after it behind the Fort Wayne net. Florent and Gallipo strike for it. Lazarchik comes away with it for the Komets. Working ahead on the right side, bumps and self-chases. Far side corner, works his way behind the goal, kicking it around, tries to steer it. Left circle, one-timer by McKenzie, and a right pad save by Ruby. Szydlowski topples it towards the circle, snagged away Saraceno, lofts it ahead for Florent, who dumps in near side corner. First one back is Petschenig, ahead for Lazarchik. Petschenig, a fight last night to help to swing the momentum for the Komets, and I know there was a lot of credit given to that fight. Granted, I didn't see the game, but I don't know if I can give all the credit to the fight for turning it around since the comeback didn't start till the next period. Jenks walking in, drags the forehand, and a right pad save made by Ruby. Butcher saucers it across. Far side Brown, left side in on goal. Kehler the save. Far side for Smith. Along the wall, out to the left point trap. Long shot, and a save made by Kehler with 9:59 left to go in period number 1. 1-0 Komets in the lead. I don't know. You look at a momentum swing. How long is it supposed to really see the reaction from it? I kind of go with the 5 minutes or less. Komets the opening goal tonight. McKenzie's 19th from Szydlowski and Petschenig. It's 7:14. Apt at the left point. Wires it far circle for Hirano. Twisting with it, down the boards it goes. Krestenberg spinning out of the left side corner to the trapezoid. Now back to the corner, looking to the circle for Hirano. Chased away, Burr pass, bouncing puck into the zone. Far side rim shot, works his way into the corner. App takes it away, lost a handle, and it goes off the outside of the net. Trying to drag it up was Bowdens. Ruby keeps that out of the cage. Terrell, near side of the trapezoid, pressure along the end wall. Far side, Gottlieb stepping up from the point. Ladles a backhand along the wall. Near side corner, it's played by Knott. He waits and braces for the Terrell hit to arrive. Near side, Hirano floats it ahead. Blocked down by Rimshaw. Far circle, Gottlieb in with a wrist shot. Blocked. Flies up and into the far side circle. Ruby was looking and almost ducking at his crossbar just to make sure that he had the back of his net protected. We saw a goal like that against Toledo earlier this year at home, where a puck went flying about 15 feet into the air and the goaltender lost sight of it and it fell behind him and into the net. Saraceno off the end boards, goes through Minerva. Near side for Butcher, bracing for the check. Petrozelli, left slot slap shot, blocked aside. Nailers need that jump. They had a lot of it last night in Cincinnati. Gallipo waltzing to the front of the goal, forced aside, but right now Fort Wayne kind of taking it two-wheeling with a 10-3 shots advantage. Berg looking to splat it towards the middle. Apt holds his positioning. Not off the near side window, sending it back into Fort Wayne territory. Redicop gives it a look, and it's icing with 8:15 left to go in the first period, and a 1-0 lead for the Komets, as the draw will come back into Jordan Ruby's neck of the woods. It's our first time seeing Redicop for Fort Wayne, an LA Kings contracted player. Despite being a Vegas affiliate, they do have a good relationship with the Kings and the Ontario Reign. First warning on Knott on the face-off off the icing, as he leans in against McKenzie, the goal scorer. Komets control. Szydlowski buzzes around, out to the left point. Burr pass, fake the slap shot. Rockets it across, slid in deep by Petschenig. Behind the net, Szydlowski, far side corner. Turning with it, gets some elevation above the goal line, but then has it forced away. Apt lofts it up, far side towards the corner. Saraceno, Burr pass, and this one's not going to make Westbanco Arena or Nick Saraceno all that thrilled, as it just wiggles its way over the icing line, and the call goes Fort Wayne's way. With 7:53 left in the first, and a 1-0 Komets lead. They will get to pick the face-off dot. They choose the left one for Jenks on his forehand side. And Jenks whacks Knott's stick and gets thrown out of the draw. So now you're going to go with the righty Rimshaw. Oh, that's fun. I love this battle. Knott and Jenks is going to be fabulous to watch in the dot all night long. Jenks tries to smoke it through Epps' legs, but Matt with the block leads transition the other way, but he was on a long shift, so he ends up just gaining the red and popping it into the zone. Bowden's left side over the center red, gets in, long wrist shot, gloved away by Ruby, and he falls down on top of it to get the stoppage with 7:29 left to go in the first period. A 1-0 lead for the Komets. Rare Saturday night off for the Penguins tonight. They get an afternoon game tomorrow against Detroit. Wilkes-Barre Scranton going to Bridgeport. That was a big loss for Wilkes-Barre Scranton last night in Providence. A chance to take sole possession of fourth, but it was the Bruins who won that one. Smith in front. Poking on was Florent. Kehler with the save. Smith working his way behind the net out of the left side corner off that good setup try. Now Kim walks in, left side shot. Kehler makes the save. Puck steered around to the right point. Aaron Titcomb. Shot wobbles out to Smith high on the left side. Dunks it off the end boards. Near side played by Gallipo. High flip through center. Petrozelli and Kim tackle each other back in the neutral zone, and that looks like incidental contact as they both get up and look at each other and go, how did that happen? Draw will go back into the Fort Wayne defensive zone. Smith trying to set up Brady Florent, who scored in his Wheeling debut on January 29th, was the game-winning goal against the Norfolk Admirals. That's a team that is nose-diving as fast as you could imagine. They've been outscored 33-5 in their last 5 games, and I'll give you a hint, they're 0-5. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of pieces they have up for grabs. Trapped from the left point, a save made by Kehler, rebound, bounce free for a moment, and Kehler lunges out to cover with 6:39 left to go in the first. 1-0 Komets. We are less than 2 weeks away from the NHL trade deadline. ECHL trade deadline is the first week of March during that 6-day, 4-city road trip for the Nailers that takes them to Toledo, Fort Wayne, Indy, and Kalamazoo. Head coach Mike Bavis going through his second trade deadline as head coach of the Nailers. Last year was a quiet one. Lazarchik rushing in, right side, looking to the middle, drops at Szydlowski, open, Gottlieb and Ruby gets it with the mask. Scarfo off the far side, just able to dribble it off the wall to center. Szydlowski, right side, chip play ahead. Lazarchik in for McKenzie, who puts himself in offside. As we get the stoppage with 6:13 left to go in period number 1, and a 1-0 Komets lead. There's a lot of teams still in races. As you can say the whole Central is in, all 6, even Kalamazoo, thanks to a late surge. The North, you can pretty much knock Worcester. Adirondacks teetering on life support, but the rest of the 5, or the rest of, well, it is only other 4, so it's pretty much those 4, and then if Adirondack can scare anybody late. The Mountain, it's still close. This is a shot from the wall, tipped on net, a save made by Ruby. But Tulsa, Wichita, Kansas City are going to have to make some big late pushes, especially the Rapid City holding some games in hand in that 4th spot. And then in the South, I mentioned Norfolk is beyond dead. And then you have Jacksonville and Atlanta. That Jacksonville team, who had an unreal game with Fort Wayne, which is why Fort Wayne doesn't have Stewart or Haas in the lineup tonight, serving the last game of 6-game suspensions. It's almost like that jolted the Icemen, really, as they're starting to try and chase down either Greenville or Orlando. Top of the right circle, wrister by Gottlieb, and that's held on to by Ruby. 5:54 left in the first period, 1-0 Komets on the Nailers Broadcast Network. 5:54 left to go in the first period. 1-0 Komets, and it looks like they had the kiss cam completely choreographed and ready for the camera to go. Who was that? Lazarchik, McKenzie, and Szydlowski. Jordan Ruby gave some love on the kiss cam last Saturday in Reading for the Nailers. Far side corner, Petschenig bouncing off of Kim. Petschenig had the winner last night for Fort Wayne in their 5-goal third period against the Indy Fuel, which saw them erase a 3-0 deficit. Petschenig bounds in from center. Ruby stopping behind the net. Far side, Kim looking ahead. Brown taps free Saraceno. Nailers rush ahead. Butcher to Titcomb. Right side. Wrist shot. And it was straight on the goaltender as he stared it down like a catcher catching a fastball right down the gut. And Kehler with the glove save with 5:26 left in our first period and a 1-0 lead for the Komets. Kehler, like Alex Dorio, catches with the glove on the right hand, not the left. Saw Nick Schneider of Kansas City catch with the right hand last week. Nailers beat the Mavericks 4-3 in overtime. It was only 11 days ago, but it seems like an eternity ago because the Nailers are only playing their third game since then. But that changes fast next week. Nailers will play 4 games in 5 days in 4 cities. Here against Reading, at Cincinnati, at Kalamazoo, and then up to Canada to take on the Beast for the only time next Sunday. Verpass around the near side boards. It bounces around. Florent lost his stick briefly. Gottlieb far side Szydlowski threw his legs back in. Ahead to Lazarchik swarming in. Down the middle with a wrist shot. Kicked away to the corner by Ruby. Far side, Apt takes over for the Nailers. Middle of the ice pass was launched at Minerva, who has to settle it down right side. Back to Apt on the left. Tipped in far side by Smith. Kehler goes behind the net to stop it. Drills around through Rimshaw and all the way back into Wheeling territory. That's where it's gathered up by Spencer Trapp. Trapp has 3 of his 4 points on the season in the last 5 games. In comes not, left side shot! And it blows the helmet off of Kehler's head. And unfortunately, that was the case because Siebenaller was looking at an open net on the rebound. Oh man, can Graham not launch a hockey puck? Wow. And he goes over and has a few words for Kehler. Not sure if it's, are you okay, or did you feel that one? Man alive. Mentioned not on the 5-game point streak, multi-points in 3 in a row. Kehler gets it all situated. Somehow keeps all that hair under the lid. And gets ready for a draw to his right. Tie up on the draw. They scrum for it. Scarfo kicking at it. Far side along the boards. Spins it behind the net. Verpass. Wings it around near side for Bayless. Out through center. Gets in left side. Greeted by Herano's check. But he took the hit to move the puck in a pass to Berg, who rifled a one-timer wide. Berg, near side corner, chased after by Herano, gets left off in the corner. Spencer Trapp takes over there, tries to go up the wall. Petschenig to steal in the corner. He's charged at by Scarfo. Bodied up against the near side wall, looking behind the net. Siebenaller takes away, flubbing it ahead left side, goes through Knott. Scarfo trying to reach out and make a play, but strong on his stick back defensively. Gallipo ahead to Petschenig in right side, jams on the bench, on the brakes rather. Gallipo looking for Lazarchik off the near side corner glass. Scrumming with Saraceno. Trapp takes free, wheels it around, far board Saraceno ahead from Siebenaller, getting in right side, and he hit the deck as Verpass was quickly approaching. Near side Lazarchik, left side high flip far corner. First one back is Kim, faked backhand, goes forehand against Szydlowski. Chopped at by McKenzie. Kim takes it away. Brown up for Butcher, right side, trying to twirl through Redicott. Couldn't get there though, and it's sandwiched into the near side corner by Kim. We're going back to play as Redicott. It's a good play by Kim out of the corner. The easy play was to go around the back of your net backhand, but rather than trying to go backwards and going on your weak side, Kim just said, hey, let's try forehand and let's try to advance this in a forward direction. Krastenberg's crashed into behind the net by Gottlieb. Komets scrape it away. Rim shot, near side pass to Bowden's. Left side turnaround feed. Rim shot in. Left side dangle move going low. And he out-stick handled himself as Minerva poked it away momentarily. Near side corner battle with 2:10 to go in the first period. A 1-0 lead for the Fort Wayne Komets. Near side play up the wall. Petschenig over. One-timer by Gallipo. Missed wide. Ruby thought about lunging over and covering. Apt looking to skim it away. Far side poke check. Steal by Gallipo, who darts one in on goal. And Ruby making the save with 1:53 left in the first and a 1-0 Komets lead. Fort Wayne out shooting Wheeling 16-8 with the Nailers' best chance coming from Graham Knott. Counting his time between Indy and Wheeling, not one of 9 Nailers this season to reach double digits in goals. Big wide stance on the faceoff as Krastenbergs became number 9 to reach number 10 last night. Net goes off behind Ruby. Komets have possession near side, and they blow it down. Ruby looked like he was just moving laterally from post to post and might have gotten his right skate caught behind the post and kicking it forward a little bit. So they'll reset it behind him. Ruby working on the peg on his glove side. Now made with a rubberized material that allows it to bend and have some give rather than the old metal pegs. It's a good safety measure. Draw to Ruby's right. Gallipo in with left side wrist shot. Blocked by Herano, who took him to the wall. Ruby glides around far boards. Komets blocked, though. Right circle Bayless shot, blocked by Siebenthaler. 4 points in 8 career games against Fort Wayne for the native Fort Wayne, Blake Siebenthaler. Puck bounces around in front. Petrozelli got denied once, and Herano eventually wrestles it to safety. Long stretch pass looking towards Scarfo. Glove down by Kehler, and he tried to glove it off to the side, but he gets the whistle. And the dump in came from behind, or it came from in front of center red, so the Komets are allowed to make the change, but they won't. Petschenig just wants to wipe off the visor. 1:16 left to go, first period. 1-0 Komets in the lead. Draw to Kehler's right, played last year with Manchester. Some of the high school hockey teams getting ready to give us some intermission entertainment. I see the white, blue, and red of the Wheeling Park High School Patriots. Tough game for them earlier today, but a win for Lindsley in game number 2 of the doubleheader. Lazarchik, left circle, swing and a miss, but he has another layer behind him in Verpass. Far side Kim off the wall. Krastenberg's locking up with Redicott. Lazarchik down the far side boards. Cam Brown tying up. Szydlowski floats it near side. Verpass stepping up from the left point. He's knocked down with authority by Aaron Titcomb. Verpass has it hop on him. Still able to make a play down to Szydlowski. Tried to curve it middle, but Titcomb got in the way. Nice shift for Aaron. Saraceno near side, spilled as he tried to fly it out to center. McKenzie in, right side drop pass, Redicott wrister off the end boards. McKenzie the rebound, out to Szydlowski, right side backhand, across to Lazarchik who fanned. Brown had him in pursuit defensively. Titcomb, unable to boot out the center, was Krastenberg. Szydlowski with a very careless spin around pass back into center as he was more than ready for the line change. And I think he's content to take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room as they shuffle forward on the far side. And that's what we have. Komets with the lone goal of the first period as they outshot the Nailers 17-8. Coming up, we'll have intermission coverage, look back at the first period, the McClure Hotel period recap, a look ahead at our calendar update as we'll look at some of the upcoming home games as well as our Wheeling Nailers Power Hour on Tuesday, and it's the Main Street Bank out-of-town scoreboard. This is the Nailers Broadcast Network. One period complete here at Westbanco Arena. It's a 1-0 lead for the Fort Wayne Komets over the Wheeling Nailers. And last night it was a 2-2 tie after one between Wheeling and Cincinnati, which wasn't bad. It was some encouraging stuff to see. The Nailers led a couple of times, and then ultimately, of course, the second period is what drove Wheeling ahead for good in that contest. But the Nailers, the first period struggles continuing a little bit, and although you look at the two teams, and the Nailers, the first period's then their bugaboo. Fort Wayne's first period has been their best, over 60 goals in the first this year for the Komets. So when you look at the statistical body of work from the year, 1-0 deficit's not the worst place to be, but of course you want to get off to a good start, get the home crowd buzzing, so hopefully Wheeling will have a good response in the second and come back and tie the game. Let's look at the McClure Hotel period recap. The lone goal came just over 7 minutes into the opening stanza. Breakdown happened in neutral ice by the Nailers, allowing the Komets to come in off the rush. Szydlowski, a former ECHL MVP award winner, with a perfect pass into the slot, and marching down Broadway was McKenzie, who stepped in with a wrist shot that lasered up over the glove side shoulder on Jordan Ruby, as McKenzie collects goal number 19 on the season. Szydlowski and Petschenig get the assist. The goal comes at the 7:14 mark to make it 1-0 Komets. A few minutes before that, Fort Wayne's number 2 power play in the league got an opportunity, but you could certainly sense that Jordan Ruby and the Wheeling defense came ready to work in this game, as Ruby with some big saves, part of his 16 first period stops to at that point keep it scoreless, although as we mentioned the Komets did score a few minutes after that to go ahead 1-0. Good to see Jordan, a strong first period out of him. Naylor's best opportunity came late in the frame. Graham Knott blazing down the left side and sending an absolute rocket towards the net. But Cole Kehler standing there and taking it off the mask to the point where the mask came off. If the mask had stayed on, Naylor's might have tied it as the puck came out to Blake Siebenaller on the right side, but unfortunately that was not the case. And the Komets took the 1-0 lead into the dressing room. And man, it's like we talked about with Kalamazoo this season when they came in. Fort Wayne, the most penalized team in the ECHL, but no penalties to speak of for the Komets in the first period. And what I take away from that is the Nailers really need to get in deep, battle into the hard areas, and kind of force Fort Wayne to take the hooking, the holding, the impeding type of penalties. You want to see those hard-working ones. You can't necessarily depend on them being stupid and taking roughing or unsportsmanlike type penalties, because it seems like they know the importance of this game, and they look like they're going to play a smart one out there tonight. So really it has to come down to outworking the opposition. So I want to see Wheeling with a little more jam in the second period. They certainly had it last night. I like the physicality earlier. Wheeling had a couple of real nice hits. The one on the front of the bench, and then there was one by Titcomb on the far side of the ice. So Wheeling definitely hitting hard, but definitely on the offensive side, you want to get greasy, get into those hard areas. Mike Bavis talked about it in the pregame show that it was what really helped them last night against the Cyclones. So if you learn what you did last night, and you can work to battle back from this 1-goal deficit tonight. Power play so far, Wheeling 0 for 0. Fort Wayne 0 for 1. Shots 17-8 in favor of the Komets. It's 1-0 Fort Wayne after 1. Intermission coverage continues with our calendar update on the Nailers Broadcast Network. 1-0 Fort Wayne after one on a goal by Brett McKenzie as we look ahead at our calendar update, continuing on with our first intermission coverage. And for the Nailers, the schedule's about to get hot, but before it does, we'll have another edition of the Wheeling Nailers Power Hour coming your way on Tuesday night from 6 to 7 at the 19th hole. Renars Krastenbergs makes an appearance, and it'll be the first ever time that Yushiro Hirano is a guest on the Wheeling Nailers Power Hour. That is from 6 to 7 on Tuesday night at the 19th hole, the Wheeling Nailers Power Hour. Then it is home for one on next week's schedule. Wednesday night, a 7:05 game against the Reading Royals. And then the Nailers will play 3 games in 3 days in 3 different road cities as they play the first of 7 straight weeks of 3 in 3. Next Friday is at Cincinnati, a 7:35 match against the Cyclones. Then on Saturday, they go to Kalamazoo. That game begins at 7 o'clock. And we'll wrap it up with a Sunday 4 o'clock game in Brampton against the Beast. The Nailers, it's about 6 hours from Kalamazoo to Brampton, but the Beast will be coming from Reading, which is 7 to 8 hours from Reading to Brampton. So that should be 2 teams that are just completely dead by the time we get to next Sunday afternoon. But you get to see everybody when they're fresh on Friday night, or Wednesday night rather, when the Nailers face the Royals at 7:05. The following week, there will be 2 home games here, and they both have some fun twists to them. First off, Friday, February 28th, a 7:05 game. The first ever visit to Wheeling by the Maine Mariners, led by former Nailers assistant coach Riley Armstrong, who is their head coach. And we missed seeing this guy last year. Defenseman Zach Tolkinen was on recall to AHL Hartford when we played up in Portland. But Tolkinen is on the team now. They also have former Nailer defenseman Josh Couturier. So 2 players and a coach that we are familiar with will be coming to Wheeling for that Frosty Friday. 21 and older, please drink responsibly. February 28th, the Nailers taking on Maine. Then on Saturday, February 29th, the 7:05 game against the Cincinnati Cyclones. And that is Pittsburgh Penguins night, starring 2009 Stanley Cup champion Max Talbot. You can have a chance to meet Max at that game on the 29th, all part of Pittsburgh Penguins night. And you can get yourselves a friends and family 4-pack, courtesy of WTRF 7 for Penguins night. That gets you 4 tickets, 4 Tito's Sloppy Dogs, and a $10 voucher to the Nailers team shop for $52. You can get the friends and family 4-pack or tickets to any Nailer home game simply by visiting WheelingNailers.com or by calling 304-234-GOAL. That's 304-234-4625. So again, Wednesday, 7:05 against the Royals. Frosty Friday, February 28th against Maine. And Penguins night with Max Talbot, February 29th against Cincinnati at 7:05. It is a 1-0 lead for Fort Wayne after the first period. Coming up on our intermission coverage, we'll take a spin around the Main Street Bank out-of-town scoreboard. Indy and Cincinnati's a big one. Brampton and Kalamazoo. We'll check on Wilkes-Barre Scranton taking on Bridgeport and give you a rundown of NHL action today. There were some finals from this afternoon, including the team that the Penguins play tomorrow. That's a great situation for Pittsburgh, playing a team on the back-to-back, and that team is pretty brutal. It is the Nailers Broadcast Network. Teams getting ready for second period action. Nailers trailing the Komets 1-0 after one. Main Street Bank has our out-of-town scoreboard. And the record-setting streak is over, so good thing Newfoundland won last night. The streak ends at 19 straight home wins. Morgan Adams-Moisin with the game-winning goal for Maine with 1:27 left in the third period to break a 1-1 tie. And the Mariners make it 19 in a row, and that's it for Newfoundland as they win in St. John's 3-1. That's the second of a four-game series between Newfoundland and Maine. Former Nailer Cam Heath has had great success early on in Greenville. 2 goals and an assist in 6 games. And Heath with one of the 2 goals tonight as Greenville fending off a 39-shot attack by the South Carolina Stingrays, clinging to a 2-1 lead in the third period at North Charleston Coliseum. The Orlando Solar Bears have a 2-1 lead over the Norfolk Admirals at the end of one period. Adirondack jumping out to a 2-0 lead in the second over Jacksonville. Former Nailer KC Piero Zabatel scoring for the Thunder. It's 2-0 Florida over Atlanta at the end of one. Former Comet Cody Soul getting on the board for the Everblades. Brampton trying to do the Central Division some favors tonight, and so far successful. A 3-1 lead over Kalamazoo. That game 5 minutes into the second. Toledo, Abbott Gerduckis gets on the board. The Walleye leading Idaho 1-0 at the end of one. It's scoreless with 5 minutes left in the first period between Indy and Cincinnati. Michael Hauser, we remember the late scratch off the starting lineup last night for the Cyclones. That's because he got called up to AHL Rochester, so Jamie Phillips getting the nod once again for the Cyclones, who play Indy tonight and tomorrow. About to get started in Tulsa between the Wichita Thunder and the Tulsa Oilers. Also short time away from Utah at Kansas City. And Allen at Rapid City is 9:05. The affiliate update, the American Hockey League. Wilkes-Barre Scranton, after splitting the first 2 on its 3-game New England trip, they won 2-1 at Hartford on Wednesday, lost 4-2 in Providence last night. And it's Bridgeport's Oliver Wahlstrom picking up his 6th goal of the season. The Sound Tigers lead the Penguins 1-0 in the second. Casey DeSmith playing all 3 games on that trip for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Pittsburgh was victorious last night, 4-1 at home against Montreal. And tomorrow the Penguins will face the Detroit Red Wings in a matinee starting at 12:30. The Red Wings, they're going to be nice and weak after getting beat down 4-1 by the Bruins this afternoon, which included David Pasternak's 42nd goal of the season. A 3-player race for the Rocket Richard. Pasternak, Ovechkin, and Austin Matthews going at it, all with 40-plus goals this year. Nashville holds off St. Louis 4-3. Michael Granlund snapping a 3-3 tie in the third period of that one. Tampa Bay, look out. They were kind of just muddling along for a while, but the Lightning have now won 10 straight games and have pulled to within 1 point of Boston for the Atlantic Division lead as they beat Philadelphia 5-3 this afternoon. Edmonton picked up a 4-1 win at Florida. San Jose blanked Minnesota 2-0. 1-0 Montreal over Dallas after one. Toronto, Austin Matthews, goal number 42 to lead the Senators 1-0 early in the second. LA at Colorado, Chicago, Calgary, Washington, Arizona, and the Islanders visiting the Golden Knights. Nailers go from right to left in the second period. Komets from left to right. Flip-flop those directions if you're watching along on WTRF My Ohio Valley. Believe head coach Mike Bavis is going to be heading on to 7 Sports Sunday, potentially tomorrow. A.J. Jenks winding in a right side backhand wide of the net. Krastenberg's first one back, a backhander off of Titcomb. Interesting, they give Jenks the C instead of Szydlowski. Both of them veteran players, though. Rimshaw, right side, whisks it across, far boards, Titcomb off the wall. Krastenbergs leads the charge, in down the middle, left circle, wrist shot, save, Kehler rebound, not, was disrupted by Rimshaw as it's worked to the wall. Bowden skies it ahead. Titcomb back on the right side of his own end, whips over to the left for Siebenaller. gets the motor running. A couple of points from Blake last night as he pitches in wide of the net. Gallipo giving chase, harassed away. Willie Smith trying to drag it middle. Had Cam Brown going to goal, couldn't get it there though. Butcher on the left side, edge of the circle, wrist shot, booted away by Gallipo. Butcher tries to string it behind the net, ends up putting it back to the point beyond Trapp's reach, all the way back wide of Jordan Ruby. Trapp around the end board, Siebenaler on the right side, stretches it up. Here comes Butcher in right side, hacked down on the play by Berg. That allowed Gottlieb to take over. Komets rush it back. Berg in right side, curling at the circle. Pass back to the slot. Butcher erases it. Hustles back down left side. Butcher trying to force towards the goal. Upended by Gottlieb. Far side pass peppered ahead for Berg off the wall. Center circle. Redekop in. Down the middle wrist shot. Off back glass off a stick. Redekop cycles it over far side boards. It gets smashed over near side. Lazarchik waited for it to arrive, but it didn't get there. And Ryan Scarfo will skate it ahead for Wheeling. Scarfo buzzing in, tried to go to the left, but Redekop got the stick in the way. Szydlowski back in left side. Stick handles, backhand feet. McKenzie, top of the right circle, slap shot. Whistles over far side boards. Petschenig, a left point drive and a stick save made by Ruby. McKenzie went hard into the end boards. Lazarchik fighting for it behind the net. Scarfo bodies into him, wiggles it free, can't break out for Saraceno. Couple tries at the blue line, Szydlowski blocked. In comes Florent with a right side shot, forced wide by Gallipo. Saraceno behind the net, Florent trying to jam. Kehler has it on the blocker side post. Held on to with 2:35 gone in our second period, and a 1-0 lead for the Komets as we get ready for a draw to Kehler's left. Kehler backed up by Dylan Ferguson, the Vegas Golden Knights prospect. And we'll try the face-off again. Knott and Jenks. Not had won it, but they'll make the two tangle one more time. This time Jenks gets the upper hand. They played it ahead. It goes through, rim shot. Titcomb back to retrieve. Curling from behind his own net off the far side boards with a pass to Knott. In on the right side, charging down the wall. He left it off. Bowden's attacked by Krastenberg. Jenks takes, curling in right side, and the play goes in offside. With 2:55 gone in the second, a 1-0 Komets lead. Fort Wayne head coach is Ben Boudreau. And tough news in the Boudreau family earlier this week as Father Bruce was relieved of his duties by the Minnesota Wild. So you wonder if the Komets will get a little extra helping hand from a former NHL bench boss. Nothing like having that situation in the family. Wow, what a resource. Assistant coach is Olivier Legault. Brown the steal. Butcher drops it. Smith, left side feed. Butcher on the doorstep. Delayed penalty on Fort Wayne. Trying to bloop it into the net was Brown. Had it broken up. And the Nailers just with one extra pass. I probably would have shot that with Butcher. As Smith unfortunately lost the handle on the left side. But the Nailers draw a penalty off of a great center ice steal and from forcing Fort Wayne back on its heels. That's what I talked about in intermission. Make them work. Make them get back and take a penalty against you. 3:13 the time of the penalty on Bayless, as the Nailers plug in the AEP power play for the first time tonight. Wheeling scored one last night, ranking 23 in the league. Komets penalty kill is 20th. Kim center point. Near side pass goes to Butcher. Along the left wing wall. Buzzes it far side. One time ripped wide by Brown. Kim keeps it alive. Gallipo into the corner. Fought free. Saraceno nearly nudged it middle for Brown. Knott scrapes it around the wall. Butcher left side at the point. Kim with a drive. Broke his stick on the play. Nailers still possess it. Knott shoves it far side. Saraceno corrals it from Cam Brown. Out to the point, Kim. Right side wrist shot. Kehler the save. It's squabbled free. Komets clearing attempt is blocked at the right point by Kim. Into Butcher's skates. He still gets the shot off but missed. Saraceno trying to fight it low. Verpass off the far boards to an opening in the middle. And the Komets ultimately get the clear. Some hard pressure though from Wheeling, as Ruby sets it off for Kim. Has Berg trying to chase him down. Michael escapes it. Ahead for Hirano. It looked like it was going to be Krastenberg's first. Komets, though, block at the line and clear it down to Ruby, who sticks it off to Epp. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage. Another unit out there. A tap pass. Hirano to Krastenberg's. Left side in, down the wall against Scarfo. Near side corner. It's aired out by Berg and all the way down. Ruby stops it for Apt, who has 5 points in 8 games with Wheeling, coming down from the AHL. Scarfo trying to speed in left side. Poke to the line. Hirano, wrister, toppled wide. Not a clean entry, but they still possessed it, so it ended up working out all right. Apt down to Hirano, left side circle, out to Apt at the point, winds it over, gets it back from Siebenaller, slap pass read perfectly by Szydlowski, who turns it back for Fort Wayne. Look to elevate it ahead for Rimshaw. Good read and catch with pressure by Siebenaller, who hustles back in. Scarfo blast on goal, save made by Kehler. Far side boards Krastenberg's, out to Siebenaller, left circle, feed to Krastenberg's, going in low right side. Couldn't quite put it on the tape. Hirano, low to Krastenberg's. It's back to 5-a-side. Hockey Nailers try and swivel it to the front, but it won't go. Komets break in far side. They try and drop to Gottlieb. Minerva got the stick. Now Willie Smith picks off and heads the other way with speed. Darting in left side. Goes into the circle. Forced the wall by Gallipo as he was being outnumbered by the Komets. A big swarm of orange around him. Nailers take away in center. Transition in. Florent for Smith. Right side drop pass. Not in. Wrist shot save. Rebound score! Followed up his initial shot and pounded a blast into the left side of the goal as the Nailers tie it at 1 at the 5:55 mark of the second. Nailers with a great play in center to break up a Komets rush. They transition back in quickly. Smith for Florent, and then not on the second try, gets it to go and extends his point streak to 6.
Goal of the season, scored by number 23, Graham Knott. Assisted by number 14, Willie Smith. And number 15, Brady Florent.
Komets slice one wide, Verpass around the backboards, out of Berg's reach, right point, Jenks nearly fumbled it out to center. Pressure came from Smith, and then a turnaround shot by Bowden's got blocked. Near side boards, they look out towards the point. Redekop over for Verpass, his wrist shot denied by Butcher right in his grill. Butcher spins it out to center. Near side, it's Redekop. Flinging it over to Verpass. Up the middle comes Rimshaw. Dragging in left side. Blocked to the line by Butcher. Couple nice defensive plays by Alec. Nailers spiral it in. Butcher couldn't quite get the handle on it. Scarfo is in there as well. Saraceno crashed a man down to the wall. Scarfo looking behind the net. Petrozelli got in the way. Angles it off the end boards to Petschenig. Right side. Wound through. Off a skate. Saraceno forces a steal. Gets in right side. Saucer pass looking for Scarfo. Settling it down flat was Apt looking behind the net. Scarfo slid his man down to the ice. Got it free to Florent. Looking to Saraceno. Right circle shot. Score! Ryan Scarfo was going to the net as Nick Saraceno let it fly from the right circle, and the Nailers take a 2-1 lead at the 7:18 mark of the second. I think Scarfo got a tip on that one. Nice heavy pressure deep in the offensive zone. Put the Komets back heavy on their heels. Forced a turnover and scored off it.
scored by number 36, Ryan Scarfo. Assisted by number 13, Nick Saracino. And number 15, Brady Florent.
Couple of assists in a row for Brady. Komets fly it wide of the net. Ruby stops and swirls near side along the boards. Quick shot try by Szydlowski, trying to catch Ruby late back to the net, but he missed. Near side out of Lazarchik's reach. Szydlowski right side, defended at by Trapp, works it high to the point. Redekop poke checked away by Krastenbergs. That allows Hirano ahead for naught. In right side, dragging down the boards against Gottlieb, taken by Redekop behind the net, anchors it up right side. Spits a backhander through center. Titcomb back to playing his own right circle. Over to Kim, left side. Rips it over Smith. One touch Brown. Comes in right side at the circle looking at goal. Kehler sprawls before Smith can get there for loose change. 8:28 gone in the second period. The Nailers scoring 2 goals in a minute 22 to pull ahead 2-1 on the Nailers Broadcast Network. We've played 8:28 in the second period, and the Nailers have come back to take a 2-1 lead over the Komets. Wheeling's best period of the year has been their second one, now a +4 on the season. Komets now -9 in period 2. Smith dribbles it on goal, the backhand to the right side, and Kehler the stop. What a setup. Nick Saracino on the go-ahead goal from the right circle. First, a great play out of the corner to get it to him open. After winning a puck battle in the left corner, Saracino waited, knew he was going to rip it towards the net, ended up being a perfect wrist of a pass to set up Scarfo for the redirection into the wide open left side of the cage. Redekop in left side, and it's whistled offside against the Komets. So for Saracino, that's now points in 7 of his last 8 that he's played in. Mentioned last night, the team 11-6-2 with the captain in the lineup. And now has 17 points in 20 games this season. It's funny, you hear people talk about how trades can make big impacts at different times of the season, but sometimes getting guys healthy or getting guys from the American Hockey League can be one of the biggest things. Obviously a good test of character when a team has to battle through injuries and call-ups. Saracino breaking down the middle, going to the backhand. I thought he was disrupted a little bit from behind, maybe with a stick, but not in the eyes of Brugman, the referee. Florent trying to slide it ahead for Scarfo. Broken up and worked to the wall by Redekop. Jenks bumping along with Florent. Nailers, Scarfo off the wall. Apt left point drive into traffic. Kehler the save. Florent banging away at the rebound. Doesn't get it to go. Boy, you talk about a hungry Wheeling team in the second period. Outshot 17-8 in the first. Outshooting 9-2 in the second. And leading it 2-1. Kehler takes the extra minute to get the mask up and take the swig from the water bottle as the draw comes to his right. Apt at the left point, risks a pass through Hirano along the back wall, not into the middle, nobody in white there. Taken away by Petschenig off the far side, boards and down. Ruby with the stop, twirls a backhand at the far side. Petschenig winds it deep, a centering pass, doesn't connect, rolls to the blue line, out and back in by Gallipo, so delayed offside against the Komets, they clear. But quickly, Petschenig breathing down Minerva's neck. This one dribbles wide. Oh, Gallipo. That was not the definition of skating hard, not by any stretch of the imagination, but he's able to get the icing call to go his way, and the draw will come back into the Wheeling defensive zone. It's clear there was not a piece of chocolate just dangling there sitting for him in the corner that there was a race for. Perhaps he ate it all on Valentine's Day and he wasn't hungry for more. Krastenberg stretches it ahead, Hirano in, left side shot, and a blocker save made by Kehler. Around to the right point, Minerva, down the wall, Hirano looking back to the point, Szydlowski just enough to stiff it away from Szydlowski. Komets retrieve in his own zone. Lizarchik pops it ahead, bunted out of the air by Szydlowski, ahead for Brown. I love Wheeling's transition game in the second. Wrister by Brown goes wide. Near side, Butcher into the near corner. Brown fighting against McKenzie. Centers for Krastenberg's on the doorstep, but a blocker save made by Kehler. Shot from the point by Szydlowski, blocked away in front by Gottlieb. Szydlowski fights it out to center. Szydlowski getting in left side. High flip on goal. Ruby catches it. His trap got sprawled down side of the net. Szydlowski and Szydlowski have a chat. Graham Knott with goal 11, point 23. Willie Smith assist 4 and point 8. Brady Florent assist 2 and point 4. That came at 5:55. And then Ryan Scarfo goal 12, point 25. Nick Saraceno assist 13.17. Brady Florent assist 3 and point 5 at 7:18 to make it 2-1 Wheeling. Titcomb ahead for Butcher. Right side of center. Blasts it in around the boards. Petschenig giving it a look. Bodied into by Smith. Brown's in there as well, tangling with Jenks. Comes free for Fort Wayne. Rimshaw, middle of the ice pass for Verpass. Gets in, right side shot. And he zipped it up over top and out of play. With 9:07 left to go in the second, 2-0 Nailers. Love the energy in the second compared to the first. They really seem like they've pushed a button and gotten things ramped up. Draw coming up to Ruby's left as the shot's now even at 19. It'll be Scarfo and McKenzie. Goes out to Verpass all the way at the left point. Scarfo's stick broken in two off the draw. Apt able to slide the puck out to center. Scarfo's gonna hustle as quick as he can to get a new piece of composite. Saraceno does a good job trying to slow the Fort Wayne rush. Ends up setting up Lizarchik for a shot, but a long distance, low grade quality attempt. That is gloved down by Ruby with 8:51 left to go in period 2. And a 2-1 lead for the Nailers, as we'll have a draw coming up to Ruby's left. Knott and Berg to jostle for it. Near side, Apt forced into the wall by Bayless. Apt almost lost his stick between the partitions in the glass. Krastenberg opens it up, goes deflecting through, so no icing. Gallipo chases back with Hirano in pursuit. Tapped it off for Verpass in the far corner. Lays it off for Gallipo across the way. Berg in far side, chipped down the wall. Berg into the corner, run into by Hirano. Dragging free is Berg on the left side. Out to the left point for Verpass. Gallipo is wanting something on the right side. Not quite forced to center by Minerva. Goes to Verpass, curl and drag. Thought about the shot instead. Pushed the puck to the far boards. That leads to a tie-up for it. Wiggled past Gallipo, swing and miss. Knott gets in, left side. Tried to drag around Verpass. That was a heavy battle there. Not able to keep it alive. Couldn't get to the goal, but Still possessed it for a few seconds longer. Good stick out of the air by Szydlowski. Krastenberg's looking to return it. Szydlowski gets around on goal, backhand. He scores! Blake Szydlowski, Fort Wayne's own, beats his former teamers, hometown team, with a beautiful play on the backhand, and he stuffs it through Kehler. Nailers go ahead 3-1 with 7:43 to go in the second. Oh boy, he just totally left Gabriel Verpass in his dust, and then beat the netminder.
Season scored by number 8 Blake Szydlowski. Assisted by number 12 Renars.
Look out, Butcher in, left side shot, he put it over the net.
Time of the goal, 12 minutes, 11.
So Krastenbergs get the assist. It was Szydlowski who forced the center ice turnover and then was the recipient of the return feed from Krastenberg. He dangled through Verpass and got the goal to go. Butcher and Brown on the near side. Butcher takes left circle looking for Smith. Oh, the Nailers are smelling blood in the water now. Titcomb right point shot off the leg and out of play. 3 goals in the second period on back-to-back nights. And the Nailers now have a 2-goal lead on Fort Wayne, who they are trying to trim the gap down to 3 in a Central Division playoff race. Wheeling does have 3 games in hand as well. Rada Kehler's left. Taken ahead by Gallipo, fighting it out to center. Lizarchik swirls in. Ruby goes back to stop it behind his net. Up the near side boards McKenzie. Behind the net, App shoulders and takes down Lizarchik. Saraceno flutters it around. Far side Florent ahead of Minerva. Gets away from a stick whack by Berg. Minerva chasing in far side corner. He scored his first DCHL goal against Fort Wayne when the net was on its side. Bowden's fought through one, flips it up and out of play, but it looked like it went off a Wheeling stick. So no delay of game, just a defensive zone draw for the Komets with 6:22 to go in the second period and a 3-1 Nailers lead. Now, here's the thing though, as well as things have gone in this second period, you have got to keep the pedal to the metal against these guys because they can score at will. 7th in the league in goals scored per game. They have 178 coming into tonight, so now 179. They've given up 180. It is a lot of high-scoring clashes. Trapp gloves it ahead, somehow not stayed inside the blue line to prevent a hand pass. Backhanded in deep by Gottlieb. Goes through to Bayless, far side corner. Szydlowski defending. Trapp picks it free. Left side, skids it ahead. Hedano is looking to swing it at for Krastenbergs. Nailers break up in center again. Not up for Krastenbergs. Just not enough reach on that to make a play. Verpass, far side, off the wall, out of Szydlowski's reach. In on the left side shot is Petrozelli, and a left pad save made by Ruby. Szydlowski battling through Berg, in with a long shot that's blocked out of play by Redekop. 5:38 to go in the second. Nailers have pulled ahead 3-1. It is the Nailers Broadcast Network. 5:38 to go in the second period. Nailers with a 3-1 lead over the Komets, thanks to Fort Wayne's Blake Szydlowski. Draw coming up to Kehler's left. Jenks and Butcher tangle. Their sticks were waist high when the puck hit the ice. Rimshaw near side, turned it over and sent it to Butcher, riding it up right side into the wall. Brown to Butcher, deep to Smith behind the net, shouldering with Gallipo as they make their way to the trapezoid. Poke checked away by Brown, feeds it out to the point. Titcomb over to Kim, left side, faked the wrister, ended up ping-ponging it around, then put it wide. Big rebound came around to Brown. Titcomb, right side wrister into traffic. Smith has to hustle over for it along the far side boards. Scraped away by Jenks, loaded it out to center. Near side, Kim in his own end. Brown back up. Uh-oh, that's a terrible giveaway. Terrell! And a save made by Ruby. Oh boy, we don't want to be dropping passes back at our own blue line in the middle, but Jordan Ruby is there with save 21. Gottlieb near circle, Lizarchik rifled it wide, goes through Bowden's legs on the rebound. He's got pressure coming in the form of Saraceno as he blows a tire but still makes a play on the far side. Rimshaw getting in left side, bounces it into the slot. Saraceno forces it towards the wall. Far corner Titcomb around the backboards. Minerva takes there. Near side feed goes to Florent. Flutters it ahead. Scarfo, who has the go-ahead goal at the moment in a 3-1 score. Komets retreat behind their net. Gottlieb rushing up the middle. Tipped in near side corner. App first one back on it. Slides along the wall. Minerva taking his man into the boards. Scarfo is in there as well. McKenzie popping it free for Szydlowski. Thrashes wide. Verp pass, left side shot, missed. Comes around near side boards. McKenzie working his way back to the point. Fakes the slap shot. Twirls with a wrister. That goes wide of the net. Minerva around far boards. Verpass keeps it aside. Wrister on goal. Ruby the save through traffic. Hustled ahead on the recovery by Scarfo. Breezing his way up through center. Right side leave. They give to Krastenberg's left side tip. Try by Scarfo on the doorstep. And it wouldn't go. Scarfo, ferocious forecheck into the far side corner. Krastenberg's is there as well. Scarfo battling with Lizarchik, who had him pinned into the boards. Krastenberg's fishes it out to Herano, over to Trap. Left circle at the dot. Walks it in. Tries to feed middle, broken up by the Komets with 3 minutes to go in the second, and a 3-1 Wheeling lead as Szydlowski chases the icing call back. Szydlowski with goal 8 and point 24 to lead Wheeling defenseman. Krastenberg's assist 15 and point 25 at 12-17. Draw coming up to Kehler's right in this 3-1 game. Good energy in the second by the Nailers. Want to finish that last 256 strong. Warning number 1 on Berg against Knott. Puck dribbles near boards. Krastenberg sent down by Redekop. Herano in his legs against Verpass in front of the Wheeling tunnel. Near side corner. Twisting and turning and continuing to battle. Berg spins it back in. Near side Szydlowski had his pass tip, but Redekop got it ahead for Lizarchik, who winds it wide of the goal. Ruby and Titcomb talk about it, but Michael Kim able to recover it. Herano leading Krastenberg's left side. Pass Gallipo in, dragging it in the circle. Can't get the shot off, and it's fiddled out to neutral by Fort Wayne. Minerva, the quick startup in his own zone, winding back with it. Left side feed goes to Smith. Has not, looks to lead him in, but Kehler thwarts that one off the wall. Dribbled in by Apt from the left point, and the Nailers are going to get dinged for too many men on the ice as they played it in front of the bench. Nailers only have 5 on the ice right now, so I wonder who the 6th was. Nailers head coach Mike Bavis doesn't appear to be arguing it that much. But it's going to be a Wheeling penalty with 2:03 to go in the second period. Linesman waiting to see who's going to serve it. And it's going to be Brad Drobot. $17:57, the time of too many men. And the Nailers will go to a Green Acres Power Sports penalty kill. The Nailers turn to Green Acres when they need extra power. Battle on the draw, played out to the left point. Gottlieb, wrister, Ruby saved. Shanks and Berg were literally lurking, licking their chops, waiting to see if a rebound dropped free. That's got to be an intimidating scenario. But Ruby right there to make the save. Could have been Bowden's, actually. 28 and 29, both lefties. Start with B. Jenks kicked out of the draw and he's ticked. Berg will take it instead against Brown. Draw to Ruby's right. Ooh, Bowden's was a little bit jumpy on that one. Could have almost gotten them for a face-off violation penalty. Szydlowski, top of the left circle, slings it side of the goal. Jenks from a tight angle, rides it up. Ruby makes the save. Szydlowski around the backboards. Bowden's near side corner, out to Berg, bounces it middle. They feed it circle to circle. Szydlowski's one-timer off the outside of the post. Butcher giving chase, far side, bashes it past and all the way down. Kehler behind the net has Brown in pursuit. Got it off though, far side. Skating ahead with it, Bowden's in left side, dancing his way to the middle. Pressured at Berg, right circle, backs it up. Bowden's right circle top. Now outside the dot to Berg at the right point. Wrists it to the bottom of the circle. Bowden's up to Berg, wrist shot skyward. Around the glass, far side, Szydlowski halfway through the kill. At the left point is Gottlieb, dancing middle, fakes the shot. Szydlowski, left circle wrister, Titcomb the block, second one sprayed wide. Near side boards, Berg turning with it. Up to Gottlieb, right point fake to Berg. Right side circle, spinning with it. Gottlieb at the point. Szydlowski, one-timer off a body off the outside of the cage. Jenks in the far side corner. Szydlowski, left circle. Gottlieb fakes. Szydlowski, left circle. Gottlieb straight away. Berg below the right circle. Looking cross ice. Szydlowski chops it wide. Berg, right circle. Gottlieb, right point. The handoff. Quick exchange. Berg down the middle. Feeds Szydlowski. Left circle shot. Blocker save made by Ruby. And out of play it goes. A minute and 48 of that unit with Jenks and Szydlowski, and the Nailers are 12 seconds away as Nick Saraceno going off with Nailers athletic trainer Daniel Blacker. Man, you talk about some hard work on the kill, as they were pretty much back on their heels that entire time. Getting some good shot blocks, getting in lanes to force shots wide, and of course, who's your best penalty? Your goalie. Lazarchik left side, stopped, rebound goes wide. From the wall, they crank it around. 4 seconds on the period clock. Trap ahead to Drobot, but the clock is gonna run out, preventing him from a breakaway. That would have been a blast. 3 goals in the second period for the Nailers, who pull ahead of Fort Wayne 3-1. Coming up on our intermission report, we'll recap that second period, take you around the out-of-town scores and more on the Nailers Broadcast Network. 3-1 Nailers have the lead at the end of 2 as we begin our intermission coverage. Looking back at the second period, our McClure Hotel period recap. Nailers didn't look the strongest in the first period as they trailed 1-0 and were outshot 17-8. But you talk about a team that found some life in the second, and they came out running, scoring 3 goals in the period to jump ahead of the Komets by 2. The first goal came just under 6 minutes in, and it came off of a neutral ice turnover. Good pressure by the duo of Willie Smith and Brady Florent. They freed it up and immediately transitioned their way into the zone, and ultimately it was Graham Knott taking a shot from the right side of the slot, having it blocked, but then following up his own rebound and slapping it into the left side of the cage as Knott gets goal number 11 on the year. Willie Smith and Brady Florent, the helpers, at 5:55 to make it a 1-1 tie. A couple of minutes after that, Wheeling with some good pressure in the left corner of the offensive zone, putting Fort Wayne's D under duress beneath the goal line, and that allows a play to develop as the puck got fed to the right circle for Nick Saraceno. He had all day to play with, and he faked as if he was going to send the hardest wrist shot possible towards the net, but it ended up being an excellent decoy as it turned out to be a shot pass that led to a perfect tap-in on the left side of the crease into a wide open side of the goal by Ryan Scarfo, as Scarfo nets his 12th of the year. Saraceno and Florent get the assist, so Brady Florent gets a multi-point game for Wheeling this evening. Nailers weren't done yet, and we look at it again. All 3 goals in the second period coming off of good aggressive plays. Blake Siebenaler trapping Fort Wayne in the neutral zone. Doesn't allow him to get over the center red. Quick pass in for Renars Krastenberg. Then Krastenberg returns it. Siebenaler immediately thinking offense and go, 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 as he makes a beeline towards the net. Ends up stick handling through Gabriel Verpass and then faking to the backhand and just having enough mustard to shove it through goaltender Cole Kehler, as Siebenaler gets goal number 8 on the year. Krastenberg's with the lone assist at 12-17 to make it a 2-1 score, or 3-1 score rather. And you certainly cannot overstate the importance of Wheeling's defense and goaltending in this game. Jordan Ruby with a really strong performance in the first period to keep it a 1-goal game. And then Fort Wayne, who kept it in the zone for 1 minute and 48 straight without a whistle, with 1 unit out there power play wise, 1 unit out there penalty kill wise, and Ruby and the D shuts the door to maintain a 2-goal lead going into the third. That's the best possible scenario. Rather than a 1-goal game, having it at 2 is really big for Wheeling right now. Power plays in the game. The Nailers are 0 for 1. The Komets are 0 for 2. Second period shots on goal, Wheeling with 12, Fort Wayne with 10. 2-period total, Komets 27, and the Nailers with 20. It's a 3-1 Wheeling lead after 2. More intermission coverage comes your way next on the Nailers Broadcast Network. Continuing on our intermission coverage as the Nailers lead the Fort Wayne Komets 3-1 after 2. Goals by Graham Knott, Ryan Scarfo, and Blake Siebenaler. It's our profile segment. And for tonight, with such a key matchup on the table, we're going to look at the ECHL standings and give you a look at where things are, as after tonight, the Nailers will have just 1/3 of the regular season to go. 24 games out of 72, and that'll be played, of course, in a span of 47 days. The Central Division top is really getting interesting, and I hinted at that in last night's game, and I think we're going to see a change at the top of the standings, as Cincinnati currently in the lead with 66 points, but has lost 5 in a row, including 3 straight to Toledo, who is now chomping at their heels, the Walleye, with 61 points. So even though it's a 5-point deficit, Toledo has 5 games in hand. I could very well see the Walleye taking over the top spot in the Central Division. Third place, Indy was rolling for a while, got stopped in its tracks last night with a third period comeback for Fort Wayne. The Fuel in third with 55, 1 game in hand on fourth place Fort Wayne, who checks in with 54. The Nailers in fifth with 49, but the Nailers a 5-point deficit on Fort Wayne, a 6-point deficit on Indy. That's okay because Wheeling has 3 games in hand on the Komets and 2 games in hand on the Fuel. And the 6th place spot, winning 6 of their last 10 points and 8 of 10. Look out, Kalamazoo starting to put it together. 45 points for the Wings. Wheeling has played 1 less game than Kalamazoo, but Kalamazoo has played 2 fewer than Fort Wayne. In the Mountain Division, the Allen Americans have one of the most comfortable leads in the ECHL at the top of a division. Allen with 34 wins and 76 points to top the Mountain Division. Second place is a great battle. I think Allen's pretty safe to take the 1, but 2, who's going to have home ice in this great battle in which they see each other all the time? Utah and Idaho. Utah at 65, Idaho at 61, and the Steelheads have played 1 less game than the Grizzlies. Fourth place is Rapid City with 56. They're going to have to fall apart real quick for them to fall out of contention because they have games in hand on the teams below them. Tulsa's only 4 points back at 52, but the Oilers have played 3 more than the Rush. Wichita's in 6th at 50, but they've played 55, so 5 more than Rapid City. And then Kansas City in the basement at 48. They're going to have a lot of work to do, having played 1 more game than Rapid City. Newfoundland had its 19-game home winning streak come to an end, and also a 7-0-1 streak of points in 8 straight end tonight by Maine. But the Growlers still comfortably in the North Division lead with 73 points. Reading is in second with 61, and they have games in hand on the teams chasing them. So the Royals look like a strong favorite to go number 2 there. Brampton and Maine tied at third with 57. We'll see the Beast next weekend and the Mariners the following week. Adirondack with 12 losses after regulation. That's really hampered the Thunder in their positioning right now as they're at 48, so they trail Maine and Brampton by 9, and the Beast and Mariners both have at least a game in hand. Worcester is in the basement at 37. Looks like that's where they will stay, and they've lost 7 in a row. Adirondack's lost 6 straight. In the South, great battle for the top. South Carolina leading the way with 76 points, 3 points better than Florida, and holding a game in hand are the Stingrays. South Carolina, Newfoundland, Florida, and Allen, the only 4 teams in the league with an over 700 points percentage. So the Stingrays at 76, the Everblades at 73. Third place, Greenville, 51, but that's anything but comfortable as Orlando is just 1 point back with 3 in hand. The Solar Bears at 50 with 49 games played. Fifth place, Atlanta has 44, and Jacksonville, who's 5-0-1 in their last 6, has jumped to 42. The Icemen with 3 games in hand on Atlanta, who they trail by 2, Orlando, who they trail by 8, and 6 games in hand on Greenville, who they trail by 9. So it's still an open race there in the South Division. My guess would be Orlando jumps up to the 3 and then leaves Greenville, Atlanta, and Jacksonville to fight over 4. And then Norfolk is in the basement with 29. So the race, the Brabham Cup, as I mentioned, you have the 4 teams with over 700 points percentages. South Carolina and Allen right now both with 76. The Stingrays have played in 2 fewer games than the Americans, which was the Kelly Cup final matchup in 2015. The year before, the Nailers and the Americans duked it out in 2016. So we've got a great race developing, and it sure will be a fun finish to see after tonight. 24 games remain to see how the Nailers will battle their way and see if they can claim one of the playoff spots. Right now, so far so good tonight as they lead Fort Wayne 3-1 after 2. Out-of-town scores in third period action are next on the Nailers Broadcast Network. Getting ready for third period action in downtown Wheeling, where the Nailers have a 3-1 lead over the Fort Wayne Komets, trying to pull within 3 points of fourth place in the Central Division while holding 3 games in hand. It's going to be a fantastic fight to the finish. Let's now go around the Main Street Bank out-of-town scoreboard, and we told you in the last segment that Newfoundland saw its 19-game home winning streak come to an end as the Maine Mariners scored twice in the last 2 minutes to win that game 3-1. It was South Carolina prevailing in overtime over Greenville 4-3. Former Nailer Cedric Lacroix and former Nailer Cam Heath both scoring for the Swamp Rabbits. Seti put them ahead 3-2 with 1:31 left, but then South Carolina scoring with 47 seconds to go to force overtime before getting the game winner. Norfolk 3 in the second to lead Orlando 4-2. J.C. Campagna scoring for the Admirals. 4-0 Adirondack on Jacksonville in the third. It's Florida leading Atlanta 3-2 at the start of the third. 5 goals in the second for Brampton, thank you. 6-3 beast over Kalamazoo in the third period. Idaho leads Toledo 3-2 early in the third at Huntington Center. Justin Vive scoring to give Cincinnati a 1-0 lead over Indy in the second, a power play goal. 1-1 Wichita and Tulsa in the second. Just getting underway, Utah, Kansas City, and Allen, Rapid City. AHL affiliate Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins 2-2 in the third at Bridgeport. Jamie Devane and Joseph Blandisi with the goals, as that is going to be a fun finish in Southern Connecticut. Nailers will go from left to right in the third period, and the Komets from right to left. Flip-flop those directions if you're watching along on WTRF, My Ohio Valley. Wheeling looking to take this one to the finish line. A lot of work to do against a team who is comfortable playing in games that have script flips that happen very frequently, including last night. If there's any sort of instruction the Nailers need not to sit back, it's that Fort Wayne scored 5 in the third last night. Nailers control it. Titcomb right side in his own zone. Bumps it up the wall for Hirano. Forced away. Terrell looking into the slot. Good defensive play by Krastenbergs, the forward getting back. Terrell, far side circle, fighting his way low, going behind the net. Ran into Aaron Titcomb, who forces the takeaway. Backhand skidder. Kim lasers it ahead. Sticked out of the air by a Comet above the shoulders. And we get the whistle. 24 seconds into our third period, and a 3-1 Wheeling lead. Komets had the lone goal of the first from Brett McKenzie, but Wheeling with 3 in the second from Graham Knott, Ryan Scarpo, and Blake Siebenaller. So now 2 goals in 9 career games for Siebenaller against Fort Wayne. Butcher off the end boards, trap, far side, McKenzie to the front, rolling on it, Siebenaller on the backhand, put it wide, whoa, a return pass, went through Ruby's legs, through the crease, and luckily there was no orange in the neighborhood as that one gets iced by the Nailers. With 44 seconds gone in the third, Sean Szydlowski trying to create something, and the Nailers breathing a sigh of relief there. With all the goals that come in this series, it should come as no surprise that there are some big offensive numbers from the two clubs. Cam Brown has not gotten on the sheet yet. He was Wheeling's leader in the season series with 6 points. Nailers iced it again. And in his career, he's had 13 points in 13 games. That includes 8 goals. Here comes Nick Saraceno back on the ice with athletic trainer Daniel Barker. Oh, that's a good sign. And Brad Drobot with a big pat on the back as Nick gets back on the bench. Slap shot, Gottlieb whistled wide. Butcher gets on his horse and rides all the way down the Old Town Road, or the Old Town Rink, into the far side corner as it's a 2-on-2 shuffle match to the right of Cole Kehler. Still battling for it. We had some probably good 15-second scrums last night in Cincinnati. Puck pops to the front. Butcher can't get the handle on it. Lazarchik kicks out. Siebenthaler steers wide. Smith through the legs. Couldn't tee it up for Butcher. Trap from the left side. Keeps it alive on goal. Save. Kehler rebound. They score! West Bank Arena is bouncing, and so is Cam Brown as he celebrates the fourth Wheeling goal. It's 4-1 Nailers with 1:29 gone in the third. Puck bounced around in the slot. Cam Brown, the open right side, and he backhands it in to make it 4-1. Make it 9 career goals against Fort Wayne.
21, Cam Brown. Assisted by number 14, Willie Smith. And number 26, Spencer Trapp.
Nailers dump it deep behind the net. Florent fighting for it. Right side. Saracino twisting with it along the wall. Minerva, right point. Bobbler towards goal. Florent on the doorstep as it misses wide. Back come the Komets. Terrell, far side, into the corner. Minerva shouldering hard as they tie up for Terrell. Far side, Berg out to the right point. Gottlieb down the wall. Krestenbergs out to center, gloving it down. Dumped in by the Komets. Ruby stopping behind the net. Minerva takes right side, and Hirano airs it ahead. Krastenberg's trying to get around Verpass. Swatted at side of the goal by Kehler. Krastenberg twirling down the boards. Couldn't get it deep to Knott. Nailers have to reset in center. Kim, near side. Krastenbergs skates it in, top of the right circle. Pirouette thrashed down by Verpass. Up against the end boards, they tussle. Knott shimmies it out to Titcomb. Right point wrister. Oh, Kehler was swimming a little bit in the crease. He lost his stick as it's pumped wide by Kim from the left point. Goes behind the net. Hirano trying to fight through Verpass. Far side, Petruzzelli cranks it off far side glass. Bayless in on the right side. Tumbles at left circle. Berg for a one-timer, which was flubbed by Petruzzelli. Kim snakes it away. Far side, dangling his way past Szydlowski, past McKenzie. Who else? Into the slot. Wrister fan, far side circle. Butcher looking to bounce it middle to Smith. Willie has a 2-point game this evening, as does Brady Florent. Siebenthaler, good stretch to get the feed from Trapp. Hustles it ahead out of Brown's reach, and it goes down for icing on Wheeling. With 3:41 gone in the third, and a 4-1 Wheeling lead at home. In search of home win number 15 on the year. 14-9-2 at home. The Komets 11-11-4 away from Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Smith strikes it to center. Redicop given away to Smith left side. Chopping it in deep far side corner. Bowden's first one back. Drifts it around. Terrell had it boot middle. Jenks goes behind the net. Backhand feed far side. Brown backhand roller towards the middle. Bowden's intercepts. Backhand up the far wall. Trapp the brief interception. Siebenthaler, good spin around from backhand to forehand side. Brown ahead. Butcher right side. Loads the cannon with a shot and a save made by Kehler, who gives him a little blocker treatment as he skates by wide. Bowden's cross corner dump in. Pelts off the end boards. Apt takes there. Whisking his way ahead in front of the bench with a pass to Saracino. Far side feed goes to Apt. Winding through. This won't connect, and it goes down for icing on the Nailers with 4:34 gone in period 3. And a 4-1 lead for the Nailers. Cam Brown, goal 16.37. Willie Smith, assist 5 in .9. Spencer Trapp, assist 3 in .5 at 129. Spencer now 4 of his 5 points in the last couple of weeks. Rookie D-man out of Holy Cross can really see the confidence gaining day by day. Gottlieb, left circle wrister, off a stick and wide. Saraceno behind the net for App, near side. Minerva along the wall. Spencer's been a very steady player back on the blue line all year. Gottlieb into the middle, a shot, and Ruby goes laterally to deny Berg on the one-timer. Big save by Jordan. And you look mainly at Trapp as a defensive player most of the year, but it's been fun to see the offensive numbers start to light up in the past few weeks. Draw coming up to Ruby's left. Had a beautiful play last night on the Cam Brown goal in Cincinnati, where he stretched out, kept the play alive, and all in one motion steered a shot towards the goal, and it was a perfect placement as Brown just ramped it right up into the top right corner. Cross corner dump in, chased down by Kim. It's actually a 3-game point streak now for Spencer. Kim off the far side boards, vert pass, back to play in his own zone. Good week. Couple of apples. Guest on the Wheeling Nailers Power Hour on Tuesday. Not a steal in center. Rumbles in right side. Oh, Krastenberg's in alone. Backhand feed, and it could not connect with Hedano. Too much shake and bake and not enough cooking. Near side, it's vert pass. Behind his net. Darts it ahead. As here comes Rimshaw speeding through, trying to break in. The Nailers have a wall of 3 that he's not getting through. They play it into the left circle, now out to the point. Redekop's wrister, blocked by Butcher, kicks it away, tries to break through. Right side wrister on goal, save made by Kehler as Butcher was losing his footing, but he was still able to muster it through and get a shot off. Back comes Gottlieb, far side Redekop, down the boards, forced into the wall by Trapp. Slid behind the net, Rimshaw, far side, Trapp poke checks it away, Smith frees it up for Brown, Butcher out of the air, away from Shanks, couldn't quite bust his way through into the offensive end. We've played 6:30 in the third. Wheeling has scored 4 straight to go up 4-1. Is 5 coming here? Saraceno from the left side, but he missed it wide of the net. Goes hopping back into the Wheeling zone. Minerva blisters it ahead in front of the Comet bench. This one goes down for icing against Wheeling with 6:45 gone in the third and a 4-1 Wheeling lead. With the goal, Cam Brown now 127 career points as a Nailer. That ties him for number 15 in Wheeling hockey history, along with Jordan Cameron. Cam continuing to climb up the charts in his 3rd season in a Wheeling uniform. They'll do the face-off again to Ruby's right. Wow. The NHL announcing that Carolina will host an outdoor game next year. Bird pass from the left point, ricochets off of something, and Ruby had to be ready to flash out the left leg pad, which he did successfully. Far side, Berg, good defensive play by Apt, and he says, go Fish, as he dumps it in behind the net. Fish are not favorites in Fort Wayne. Hit on a win, shot, score! Yoshiro Hirano with the steal and the snipe into the top left corner. Nailers make it 5-1 with 12:48 to go in the third. 2-2 for Yush since coming back from the pre-Olympic qualification.
Goal of the season, scored by number 9, Yushi Hirano. Time of the goal, 7 minutes, 12.
Unassisted goal for Yush. And the Nailers have scored 5 in a row since falling behind 1-0. Hedano dusts it off, far side. Titcomb trying to plow through Gottlieb and get out of the zone. Rolls to the right point, McKenzie back in front. Szydlowski tries a spin around pass, read beautifully by Graham Knott. Gets it out of harm's way, around for Kim, far side boards. Knott loads it up. Hedano had to settle a wobbling biscuit, and he ends up shoving deep. And now hit in front of the Fort Wayne bench. Komets start ahead with it. Drobot's going to have a few words. Bowden's tight angle shot. Save Ruby. Rebound missed by Rimshaw. Out to the left point, Gallipo. Rister tipped out of the air. Rolls to Jinx, and it's hit with a high stick by the Komets. 11:45 to go in the third. The Nailers leading 5-1. This is the Nailers Broadcast Network. We've played 8-16 and ticking in our third period. The Nailers a 5-1 lead over division rival Fort Wayne as they try and close the gap to 3 for fourth place. Also keeping an eye on Indian Cincinnati as they'd love to trim that margin to 4 against the Fuel. Smith starts up far side. Wheeling will see more of Indy down the stretch 4 times than they will of Fort Wayne, just 1 more after tonight. Redekop nearly turns it over in center. Siebenhaler right side off the wall. You look at the 5 Wheeling goals tonight, pretty much most of them have come either off of a Fort Wayne turnover in the neutral zone or by heavy pressure winning a puck battle by Wheeling. I love that hard work, and I know Mike Bavis does too. He's talked about it a lot this year, putting pressure on opposing teams. D is Berg's tight angle try. Is stopped by Ruby. Second one, that comes from Verpass jumping in on the right side. And Ruby with the denial. He lost his stick as the puck went behind the net. Verpass loads up, gives over. Bowden's back to Verpass, right side, nearly fumbled it. Scarfo in pursuit. They ride it around. Bowden's left circle. Rister missed wide. App tries to go after the rebound. Bodies into Verpass. Saraceno gave Ruby his stick, so he's trying to go at it soccer style against the Zamboni door behind the Wheeling net. It started ahead by Scarfo, coming up with Florent. Minerva got tied up behind the play with Berg. Minerva gave Ruby his stick. He puts Saraceno's back on the top of the net. You can tell he has 2 kids at home because he's an excellent housekeeper. Komets on the end boards. It's for pass with less than 10 to go in the third, and Wheeling ahead 5-1 in front of a big crowd at West Banco Arena. I love saying that. Near side, it's retrieved by McKenzie, getting in left side wrist shot, and Jordan Ruby has a 30-second answer as he makes the save. 9:44 to go in the third. 5-1 for Wheeling. Hirano with goal 12 and point 32 unassisted at 7-12. Talking about that Cincinnati game, the Fuel, 2 goals in the last minute, 44 of the second, both on the power play. Alex Krushelniski and Darian Plouffe. So Indy pulls ahead of Cincinnati 2-1. Gottlieb, bomb on goal. Ruby, make it save 33. As he gets ready for another draw to his right. Looking to even his season record as he came in 5, 6, and 3. Goes behind the net, Kim. Drapes it around, far side, Smith. Airs it out to center as the teams give chase on the far side of the Komets D zone. Rattled into center, Brown forces a takeaway. Butcher for Brown into the slot. Willie Smith had Kehler lunging, and he just fired it wide. Out to the point, Apt rolls it, couldn't connect with Smith as the Komets pounded ahead out to center, and the Nailers' Kim regrouping back behind his goal. Taking his time, no need to have a rush there, as the Nailers are comfortably ahead by 4. Titcomb in, right side, gets himself to the blue line and just chisels it into the corner. Komets start the breakout. Up on the left side, Jenks looking middle, blocked down by Szydlowski. Krastenbergs picks up and shuffles it out to the neutral zone. Gallipo, near side feed goes to Bowden's, return feed Gallipo, rushing ahead with it, right side, spills it in wide of the goal. Ruby goes back behind the net, backhands it around, near side boards Terrell, in the corner, behind the net for Rimshaw, backhand feed looking middle, Trap got in the way of that. Rimshaw riding high in the zone, swivels it off the far boards, they play it top of the right circle, a shot tipped off the outside of the net. Herano digs it free off the near side boards, past Bowden's, no icing, as it goes dancing down to Kehler, who sets it off for Bowden's to start ahead with it. Up the middle, waltzes around one, gets in left side. Scarfo is trying to force the issue and see if he might turn it over as he was working his way to center. Komets dump in, far side corner. Scarfo lengthened up on the stick. Terrell pokes it into the far corner. Apt and Bayless's pass is too hot for Verpass to handle. Back on the left side, winds it ahead. Terrell lost the handle. Saraceno, tried to break Florent, but it was just a smidge too far in front of him. Terrell, far side. Bayless getting in down the wall. Apt defending him around the backboards. Skidded along by Minerva. Saraceno and Butcher converge. Saraceno takes in right side, looking to lead Butcher forward, but back to retrieve there is Gallipo. Far side, Szydlowski in, top of the circle, wrists it. Lizarchik on the backhand. There's way too many letters on that line between Lizarchik and Szydlowski as the Nailers dump it in deep. Near side corner, Gallipo tangling with Brown, fights it away, right side goes off of Gallipo's legs, sets it free with 6:46 to go in the third, and a 5-1 Nailers lead. Gallipo, left side, galloping, and then lofting into the far side corner. First one back is Kim, drubs it around, Titcomb says excuse me to Lizarchik, around the far side wall, Gallipo has it roll on him, Smith tries to shimmy it out to center, shot blocked by Aaron Titcomb's skate. Brown off the near side boards ahead for Butcher. Gottlieb twirls it. Far side Rimshaw in at the circle. Arister. Stick save made by Ruby as that one ramps up and out of play in front of the Wheeling Tunnel with 6:16 to go in the third period. 35 out of 36 for Jordan Ruby. That tends to get overlooked in a 4-goal game. Draw to Jordan's left. Nailers tap behind the net. Szydlowski, right side feed to Herano. Winds it far side off the wall. Chased down by Trap. He backhands it over to Szydlowski. Working his way ahead through the center circle. Jams in around the boards. Near side Herano. Forechecking in against Bowden's. Behind the net. Not. Drags it far side. Intercepted by Rimshaw. Berg sets it down right side of center, drops it off to lead Jensen with speed, tries to make a move, but Szydlowski reads it well. Blake chases it down in the corner, rattled around left side for Trap, looking to center, Bowden's got a stick on it, and the Komets put it into their own bench, which leads to the final media timeout. 5:35 to go in the third, 5-1 Wheeling on the Nailers Broadcast Network. 5:35 to go in the third period. 5-1 Nailers in the lead. Apt at the left point. So this will be 14 out of 16 between Wheeling and Fort Wayne, in which the winning team scores at least 5. Komets fly it ahead. Apt gloving it down, played it to Saracino, and that's a hand pass on Wheeling. And that will bring the draw. Should be, let's see, it's going to go into the Wheeling defensive zone, although the Nailers trying to, actually, yeah, it is neutral zone because the pass came from outside the blue, thus it would go back to outside the blue. You don't get penalized as zone on that one. Apt, D-to-D for Minerva, right side, flings it off of Bayless into the far side corner. Apt sends a wobbler. Florent smashes off the far side boards. Puck rolls like a wheel into the corner for pass, first one there. Saracino, as Scarfo put a heavy forecheck on, had to absorb some of the body work from Verpass as Butcher goes back to play on the left side of his own zone. Wrapping it through for Minerva on the right side. Starts it up, looking through for Smith. Icing waved off as Kehler sets it down behind the goal, scrubs it near side to Verpass, sends it wobbling end over end. Into the Fort Wayne zone is McKenzie, and that play's whistled offside against the Komets with 4:40 to go in the third, and a 5-1 lead for the Nailers, who will host Reading on Wednesday night at 7:05. First of 4 games in 5 days. They will go to Cincinnati on Friday, Kalamazoo on Saturday, and Brampton on Sunday. Near side, it's wobbled and gloved down by Lazarchik. Komets look to play out to center. Oh, Lazarchik just tossed Butcher aside. You wonder, depending on how quietly the Komets want to go away, if we'll see Brad Drobot in the final few minutes of this contest. Komets rattle it in, far side boards. Kim starts it ahead, and, well, that one unfortunately goes directly out over the glass. And so that'll be delay of game on Wheeling. And Michael Kim, 15:47 the time. And the Nailers, well, first off, will have a timeout on the play. The Nailers will, it will be a Fort Wayne timeout, go to the Green Acres Power Sports penalty kill. The Nailers turn to Green Acres when they need extra power. The Komets, the most penalized team in the league this year, have 2 penalty minutes tonight. The Nailers, the least penalized team in the league, has 6. 1-0 Fort Wayne. Brett McKenzie, 7:14 of the first. Then the Nailers, for the second game in a row, they surge in the second. Graham Knott at 5:55. Ryan Scarfo at 7:18. Blake Siebenaller at 12:17. Look at the huddle that Gene Riley has in front of the bench with his penalty killers. It is all hands on deck. And then in the third period, Yushi Hirano at 1:29, or excuse me, Cam Brown at 1:29, and Yushi Hirano at 7:12. Nailers 0 for 1, Komets 0 for 2. Shots 36-26, Fort Wayne. Draw to Ruby's right. Kehler staying in the net, at least for now. They're not going all for broke yet. Nailers win the draw, and Titcomb clears. Kehler flattens the puck behind his net as Gottlieb starts it up. Right side, glancing to the middle, left side pass in. Bowden's at the circle, a shot. Big save, Ruby. Butcher gathers on his backhand, gets away from traffic. Look out, front of the net. Aaron Titcomb, very strong play. Able to motor around and play it through. Scarfo's in, right side shot, handled over. They score! Alec Butcher, the short-handed goal off the feed from Ryan Scarfo. It's 6-1 Wheeling with 3:44 to go in the third. And I think it's time to say, na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, hey, hey, adios, Fort Wayne.
Scored by number 11, Alec Butcher. Assisted by number 36, Ryan Scarfo. And number 3, Aaron Titcomb.
Drake Rimshaw, top of the right circle shot. Nope. Jordan Ruby with the save. You go out to the Coliseum and they're the first team to jam it down your throat when they beat you. Hurry up and lose. And all that nonsense, putting buses on the scoreboard. So you know what? When we're up 6-1 late in the third period, we're going to pile on the fun too. Kehler into the near side circle. Has it go for Gallipo. Starts it up right side, motoring his way to center. It's the Nailers' 7th short-handed goal of the year. The Komets have now given up 6. Lazarchik around the far boards for McKenzie. Poke checked away. Butcher rides it in left side, forced to the wall by Gallipo. Scarfo hustling after it behind the net. Slams it around near side boards, goes past Siebenaler. Butcher back to collect on the right side, tumbles it down. Verpass kicking it along. 25 seconds left on the Kim penalty. Far side, Komets can't connect. Trapped to Knott and bangs at the distance. 2:30 to go in the third. 6-1, Wheeling in the lead. Near side, it's Verpass, feeding it for a right side dump in by Bird. Rattles around, near side boards. Bowden's out to the point. Blast coming for pass. Gloved away by Ruby as the penalty expires. And the second best power play in the league is 0 for 3 with a shorty allowed. Nailers maybe 2-on-1. Kim in right side, wrist shot. Glove save made by Kehler as Kim was looking to put one up through the uprights and go 7. Oh, it would have been right after the kill, too. It would have been a vulnerable minutes, vulnerable seconds. 2:01 left in the third. 6 straight goals for the Nailers to go up 6-1. The Nailers' largest win of the year was 5. 6-1 on New Year's Eve against the Norfolk Admirals. Petrozelli right side shot. Jordan Ruby with save 39 out of 40. The save percentage, which entered the night above 900, is only going to climb. Komets dribble it near side boards. Florent giving chase. It's taken and spun by Bayless ahead for Terrell. Far side corner dump in. Trap, first one back there for Wheeling. Ahead for Florent, dangling through neutral ice. Gets back to Fort Wayne for pass. Far side, it started ahead by Gottlieb, working his way through center, thunders it in from the left side, around to the far boards. McKenzie looking deep, Rimshaw right side, shoved at by Titcomb. Krastenborgs tries to force a turnover. Approaching a minute to go in the game, a 6-1 Wheeling lead to pull within 3 points of the Komets for 4th in the division. Puck eludes Verpass at the blue. It's gathered up by Bowden's left side of his own end. Forced at by Butcher. Broken up inside. Oh, Apt overskated it. His eyes got really big really quick, but he didn't get the puck, unfortunately. Siebenaler strings it for Butcher. Golfs it up the wall. Bowden's chasing back in his own near side corner with 27 on the clock. Bowden's left side. Dribbles it to Verpass, right side redirection, in on goal. Ruby scoops it with the glove and holds on to it. With 16.9 left to go in period number 3. Westbanco Arena will rise as one momentarily, and that's always a fun thing to be part of. Petrozelli, right side, wrister, missed wide, not on the near side. Plays it for Siebenaler, rolls it out to center. Gallipo chasing back into his own zone, and the Nailers with 2 big divisional victories this weekend. Cincinnati last night, Fort Wayne tonight. They put 11 on the board in the 2 games tonight's final, a whooping 6-1. Big gathering at center ice as the team salutes the faithful here in downtown Wheeling. And the post-game autograph section should be a ton of fun tonight. Everybody's going to be in a good mood after a 6-1 victory, no doubt about that. Really strong performance on home ice tonight. Give up the first goal, no problem. 6 straight after that. 3 in the second, 3 in the third. What a crowd, too. 3,517 tuned in, or were in rather, at Westbanco Arena to see this one. Let's send it down to ice level for the announcement of the Ogden newspaper's 3 stars of the game.
And now it's time for the announcement of the Ogden newspaper's 3 stars of the game. The number 3 star of the game for the Nailers, number 15, Brady Florent.
2 assists for Florent. He goes in as number 3.
The number 2 star of the game for the Nailers, number 14, Willie Smith.
Willie Smith, a couple of assists. Number 2, Jordan Ruby, 39 saves.
And the number 1 star of the game for the Nailers, number 30, Jordan Ruby.
Back-to-back wins on home ice for Jordan, and he certainly earned that one. He got 6 goals of support, but 39 out of 40. And look back at that first period, how big he was. It was 1-0 Fort Wayne after 1, but he had 17 shots to face, stopped 16 of them, and that gave the Nailers the chance to be in the game and really drive it forward in the second and third, which they did, winning this one 6-1. Coming up, Nailers Overtime Live. We'll wrap this game up, look ahead at our upcoming schedule, and also the Main Street Bank out-of-town scores. That big Cincinnati Indy game tonight is one we'll certainly have our eyes on. This is the Nailers Broadcast Network.